Okay, so when you hear the word hacker, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's someone in a dark hoodie, right? Hunched over a keyboard, green code flying across the screen, breaking into some top secret network in like 30 seconds flat. It's a great movie scene, but is it real? Today, we're gonna tear that Hollywood stereotype apart and figure out what a hacker really is.
Yeah, and this quote really hits the nail on the head. That whole hoodie and glowing code image has turned the word hacker into this technological boogeyman. It's a catch-all for anything scary that happens online. But the truth is way more nuanced and way more interesting. So let's break that misunderstanding down.
So, where did this villainous cinematic image of the hacker even come from? How did we get here? Well, to really get what's happening now, we have to rewind and look at how this whole myth got started in the first place.
And it's a fascinating story, actually. Hacking didn't start with crime at all. Back in the 70s, it was all about pure curiosity. Just tech enthusiasts pushing the limits of these giant mainframe computers. But then, as computers got more personal and got connected, things started to change. The 80s brought a little mischief, but by the 90s, when the internet went public, bam, attacks could happen anywhere in the world. And today, well, today it's a massive, criminally motivated industry.
And this is what really cemented that boogeyman image in our minds. We are way past pranks here. We're talking about serious, high-stakes crime, shutting down entire businesses, stealing people's identities and credit cards, even messing with the stock market. This is the stuff that makes headlines. But here's the thing. That's not the whole story, not even close. Because it turns out that hacking skills are kind of like a superpower, you know? They can be used for good, for bad, or for something, well, something in the middle. The key isn't what you can do, it's why you're doing it. It all comes down to intent.
And this whole spectrum breaks down into a few key categories. On one side, you have your white hats. These are the good guys, the ethical hackers who are literally hired to find security problems. On the total opposite end are the black hats. Those are the criminals. Then you've got your gray hats, who live in that murky middle ground, sometimes bending or breaking the rules, but not always for evil reasons. And then there's this wild category, suicide hackers, who just want to make a point and could not care less about getting caught.
Okay, so let's focus on those white hats for a minute. How does someone actually use these powerful skills for good? I mean, you can't just wake up one day and decide you're a cyber superhero. No, this is a professional discipline with very, very strict rules.
And here's the most important thing to get. An ethical hacker uses the exact same tools, the exact same mindset, and the exact same tactics as a criminal hacker. The critical difference, the one thing that changes everything, is one simple word: permission. They are hired by companies to think like the enemy and find the holes before the real enemy does. They are an absolutely essential part of our digital defense.
Seriously, if you take only one thing away from this whole explainer, make it this: permission. It is the bright, uncrossable line in the sand. Without permission, you're not an ethical hacker, you're just a hacker, and you're breaking the law. It's as simple as that. Everything the good guys do is built on a solid foundation of clear, written consent.
I just love how blunt this quote is because it is 100% true. Permission isn't just a friendly handshake or a quick email, no way. It is a legally binding contract that spells out exactly what can be tested, when it can be tested, and how. It's what protects everybody and turns what would be an illegal act into a vital professional service.
All right, so they have a contract, they're all legal, now what happens? You might think it's just pure chaos, right? Just mashing on a keyboard, trying to break stuff. Nope, not at all. Ethical hacking is a super structured, super methodical process. They have a playbook, and they follow it.
I mean, look at this. It's basically a detective investigation. They start with footprinting, which is like doing reconnaissance from across the street, just gathering public info without ever touching the target. Then comes scanning. Now they're walking up to the building and checking for unlocked doors and windows. After that is enumeration, which is like peeking inside those open doors to see what's valuable. And only after all that research do they even think about actually trying to get in. And the actual tests they run, called penetration tests, come in different flavors. A black box test is the ultimate challenge. The hacker has zero information to start with, just like a real attacker from the outside. A gray box test simulates an insider threat, like maybe a disgruntled employee who already knows a few things. And a white box test is a total open book exam. The hacker gets all the info, and their job is to find every single possible flaw.
So let's pull all these pieces together. We've busted the myth, we've met the different kinds of hackers, and we've seen their professional playbook. But at the end of the day, what's it all for? What is it fundamentally that they're hired to protect?
It all comes down to this, the CIA triad. And no, not that CIA. In security, this stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Think of it this way. Confidentiality means keeping secrets secret. Integrity means making sure nobody's messed with your data. And availability means your stuff is actually there when you need to get to it. These three things are the crown jewels of cybersecurity.
And this is where it gets really simple. The defender's whole job, the ethical hacker's entire purpose, is to protect that triad. The attacker, meanwhile, wants to do the exact opposite. They want to cause disclosure, alteration, and disruption. It's a constant tug of war, an endless battle between these two opposing forces.
So, remember that shadowy figure in the hoodie we started with? Let's just throw that image in the trash. A much better image for an ethical hacker is a lighthouse. They're using their deep knowledge of the digital seas to scan for hidden dangers, the rocks and the reefs, and guide the rest of us to safety. They're not the storm, they're the ones shining a light on it so we can avoid a wreck.
And that really brings us to one last question, doesn't it? Our entire modern world is built on data, protected by digital locks. And you can be sure that malicious hackers are out there 24/7 trying to pick every single one of them. So, who would you rather have testing those locks first? Them? Or a professional you can actually trust? It's something to think about.